Hey, it's your friend Cristiano, and welcome to the Queer Quest Podcast. Hey, beautiful humans, and welcome back to the Queer Quest Podcast. It's still Pride Month, and today we're getting flowers, spotlights, and standing ovations to the queer change makers who are leading the way right now. This episode is dedicated to the Independence Pride Miss 2025, an annual celebration of the LGBTQIA plus visionaries, warriors, and innovators who are showing us what queer excellence really looks like. Now, before we dive into the stories of these remarkable humans, I want to say this. We are not just honoring names on a list. We're honoring what's possible when queer people take up space. When we go from the margin to the center, from invisible to undeniable. Because the Pride list is more than a feature in a British newspaper. It's a film. And if we look closely enough, we can see pieces of ourselves in every one of these leaders. I know I can. So today, we're not just going to be reading out names, we're telling stories. We're tracing the ripples of queer impact, and we're remembering that someone out there needs you on their future Pride list too. So if you get value out of today, which I trust that you will, then can you please do this episode a huge favor and help boost it to others in the queer community by liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, or reviewing us, as it's the more thing you know towards getting this episode in the hands of the queer people who really need it most. Thank you. So let's begin with a category that is so close to my heart. It's activism and liberation. And I looked over this list with absolute awe. There's a reason the Pride always starts with activists, because our rights didn't arrive gift wrapped. They were fought through, often by the people most silenced in the rooms. So let's start with a name that set the internet on fire this month. Munroe Bergdorf. A longtime trans activist, writer, and model, Munroe has consistently used her platform to speak on racism, transphobia, and mental health. This year, she made the list for launching a new mentorship platform aimed at supporting young trans people of color in creative industries. Why does this matter? Mentorship is one of the most overlooked forms of activism. It's not always protest signs and headlines. Sometimes it's creating pathways when none existed before. Munroe said in her announcement, "We've been told to be quiet, to be smaller, to be grateful, but we deserve to lead. We've earned that right." And that energy, that's liberation in motion. Let's move on to Reeta, the founder of Gay Things. Reeta has long been a voice for South Asian queer visibility. This year, she's being honored for launching Queerverse, a global storytelling hub centering LGBTQ plus voices from the global south. Why it's huge. Representation isn't just about being seen, it's about who gets to tell the story. Reeta isn't just writing history, she's handing out pens to the rest of us who need to share our stories the most. A quote I loved from her recent panel. "We are not fragments, we are constellations, and our stories deserve to shine in every sky." Let's move on to Toby Donovan, who is an actor from Sex Education and an advocate. He's not just an actor, Toby has been doing real on-the-ground work, supporting queer youth through school programs and charity partnerships. This year, he has helped raise over £100,000 for queer mental health services. That is huge. Real talk. Sometimes we think only career activists make change. But Toby reminds us your platform is your activism if you use it with heart. And I feel the same way about Queer Quest. These are just a few of the names on the list, but their impact is collective. And they remind us that Pride didn't start with parades. It started with protests. And even now, in a rainbow-watched world, we still need warriors who keep the movement honest. Next up, we're shifting from protest signs to poetry, from megaphones to microphones. In part 2, we'll explore the artists, musicians, and cultural icons on the Pride list who are changing the vibe and the narrative. Hey, love. While I've got you, I want to gift you with something powerful. Something I wish I had when I was cracked open and crawling through the mess of heartbreak, shame, and that deep ache of why am I like this? If you've ever felt like healing is this confusing, invisible maze where you're just surviving one emotional breakdown after another. If you've been wondering, is something wrong with me? I want you to know you're not lost. You're not broken. You're becoming. Most queer people were never given a roadmap for healing. We were taught to hide, to perform, and to shrink. We've been gaslit by religion, erased by culture, and taught to just get over it. But healing isn't a straight line, especially when you're queer. It's not just about feeling better. It's about coming home to your queer, radiant, whole hour self. That's what I created the Journey to Queer Healing, a free guide that maps out the 18 emotional stages of queer healing. It's not just theory, it's your soul's survival map. You'll see where you are, what's next, and what's possible on the other side of the pain. This guide has helped hundreds of queer people realize it's not just me. I'm not behind. I finally understand what I'm going through. Download the guide today. Let it remind you your healing isn't random, it's divine. Download it now via the link in the show notes. Or you can comment guide on this video or on any of my socials, and I'll send it directly to you. And when you're ready to go deeper, join us for the Queer Comeback webinar. Let's make your healing sacred and make your comeback legendary. I'll see you on the journey. All right, then. We've honored the fighters, on the freedom makers. Now let's talk about the creators, the storytellers, the artists who take queer truth and turn it into culture, who shape the way that we see ourselves and how the world sees us too. Because queer creativity, it isn't just art. It's survival. It's communication. It's celebration. It's resistance that wears sequins and sings in the key of joy. So let's meet the icons of this year's Pride list who are making waves in our queer culture. Let's start with Rina Sawayama, the pop star, a genre disruptor, a queer icon. Rina made this year's Pride for her unapologetically queer music, fierce advocacy for LGBTQ plus rights in Japan, and for refusing to be boxed in by the industry. What makes her culture shifting? Her lyrics speak directly to queer longing, chosen family, intergenerational trauma, and healing. And she does it while serving high glam, high art visuals. One lyric that hit me hard. I don't want to be somebody without your body close to me. It's tender, it's universal, and it's unapologetically queer. She's not performing queerness, she's embodying it. Let's go on to Travis Alabanza, poet, performer, playwright, truth teller. Travis is on the Pride list again this year for their theatrical masterpiece of the Underground, which brought drag, politics, and poetry together on the West End stage, which is huge, and demanded the audience feel absolutely everything. Now, why ignite us? Too often, trans and non-binary stories are sidelined in the mainstream theatre. Travis didn't just enter the room, they rearranged the furniture. And in a recent interview, they said, my existence isn't up for debate, but my art, that's where I make you sit with it. That is queer power. Let's jump over to Fox Fisher, a non-binary artist, a filmmaker, and campaigner. Fox made the list for their stunning visual art, exploring trans joy and queer futures. They also co-authored a powerful children's book, Trans Pride, This Is Who We Are. And now here's why it hits. It's easy to focus on trans trauma in the media, but Fox is shifting the gaze towards trans brilliance, trans creativity, trans vision. I saw one of them recent illustrations and just sat there, stunned. It was titled, "The Future is Queer and Gender." Imagine a world where that was our North Star. How beautiful a world would that be? I'm just imagining it right now. Let's jump on to Dean Atta. Dean's poetry has been a lighthouse for Black queer youth for years. Now, he's now on the 2025 list for his latest work, a poetic memoir that explores growing up Black, gay, and working class in the UK, and how he turned his silence into storytelling. Why we need Dean? Because intersectional queer experiences still don't get enough airtime. Dean doesn't just write poetry, he writes permission slips. One of my favorite Dean lines, "They tried to write me out, so I picked up the pen." Bit of a mark drop there. Thinks everyone can understand that. They tried to write me out, so I picked up the pen. I love that. And a quick shout out to a few more from this year's list. So we've got Billy Bonboulange, who just dropped a punk-infused fashion line celebrating gender fluidity. How cool is that? We've got Tom Rasmussen, blending drag and drag queen journalism with fierce political critique. And we've got Victoria Scone, the first cis lesbian on Drag Race UK, who is now a full-blown cultural disruptor, redefining drag altogether. These aren't just artists, they're architects of a more honest, expressive, and radically queer future. Now that we've danced through creativity and culture, it's time to move into one of the most powerful parts of the Pride list. Coming up next, the politicians, educators, healers, and disruptors who are showing up, taking the mic, and leading with pride. Let's talk queer representation on leadership in part number 3. Hey babe, quick moment before we dive back in. I have a question for your soul. Have you ever felt like you lost yourself somewhere along the way? Maybe it was the breakup that shattered you, or the years spent hiding, bending, blending just to feel safe. Or maybe it's the quiet ache that whispers there has to be more to this life than just surviving. Well, I want to invite you to something that's not just a webinar. It's a comeback, a queer one, a sacred, fabulous, F the rules kind of comeback. It's called the Queer Comeback Webinar, and inside, I'm sharing the 3 secrets every queer soul needs to know to come home to themselves, unapologetically, spiritually, powerfully. This isn't about fixing you, because you're not broken. This is about remembering who the F you are. If you're tired of dimming your light, people-pleasing, or playing small just because of society's judgment, come. This is your moment. Not someday, not when, you're more ready. Now. Tap the link in the show notes or just comment "come back" and I'll send you the link. Reserve your free spot now. And if you're multitasking right now, pause this video for just 1 second and do this for you. Your comeback isn't deserved, it's overdue. I'll see you there, my love. So far, we've honored the rebels, the artists, and the cultural shapeshifters. Now we turn to those doing the hard, often invisible work of leadership. The people who carry queer visibility into politics, into education, into healthcare, into media, and into community spaces. Sometimes with celebration, sometimes with scrutiny, but always with courage. Because let's be honest, being visible while queer is still radical. Being a leader while queer, it's revolutionary. Here are just a few on the bold leaders featured on the Independent Pride List 2025. 1. The UK's youngest members of Parliament, Blum, and a proud lesbian voice in politics. Myri continues to shape the table. This year, she's spotlighted for her brutally honest speeches on LGBTQIA+ rights, trans solidarity, and holding bigotry to account. right on the floor of the House of Commons. Why she's essential? She's not just representing queer people, she's fighting for them and doing it inside institutions that weren't built for people like us or people like her. A moment that has given me chills. I'm tired of justifying our existence to people who don't want us to exist. Direct, sharp, necessary. Let's jump on to Dr. Rong's Ikaria, an emergency medicine doctor, TV presenter, and proud gender non-conforming role model. Dr. Ronks is being celebrated this year for their continued work making health education more inclusive and trauma-aware for the queer youth, particularly queer youth of color. Why it matters? Queer folks have always self-diagnosed and self-healed. Ronks brings representation into healthcare while decolonizing it from the inside. They once said, I didn't see anyone like me growing up, so I became the person for someone else. Now that's legacy work. That's deep. Again, that's what I'm trying to do at Queer Press. I didn't see anybody like me growing up, so I'm trying to create a space for the younger generation. Let's jump on to Yasmin Finney. From Heartstopper to global activism, Yasmin is on the list again, and rightfully so. But it's not just her acting that earned her a spot, it's her voice. This year, she's been using her platform to speak up for trans teens, especially in the face of rising UK hostility. Why? She's powerful. She's young. She's visible. She's unafraid. And that visibility, it's saving lives. She tweeted recently, trans joy is real. Trans power is real. Trans futures are ours. Yes, all of that. Let's jump on to Adam Smith, author, educator, and creator of The Snip, an award-winning podcast turned book about the queer history of poppers. Yes, poppers. He's celebrated this year for blending archival research, storytelling, and unapologetic queer nerdiness, turning taboo into truth. Why he stands out. Adam is doing what so many queer educators dream of, making history sexy, making history smart, and making history ours. A quote from his work that stuck with me. Queer history isn't hidden. It's just been ignored until now. Let's sit with that one for a second. Queer history isn't hidden. It's just been ignored. Not anymore. Not moving forward. Some additional shout outs that I think are worth mentioning. We've got Lady Phil, who's the co-founder of UK Black Pride, still the mother of the movement for Black queer people in Britain. What a legend. We've got Ben Peche, non-binary writer and speaker, educating with compassion and couture. Sabrina Qureshi, founder of My Hijab, My Right, who is championing the intersection of queer, Muslim, and migrant identities. These leaders are shaping queer futures, not just in style or sound, but in systems. They're making visibility useful, making pride practical, turning the map toward justice and saying, we're not done yet. So what does this list, this mosaic of queer greatness, actually mean for us? What's it say about where we are now and where we're heading? Let's take a moment to reflect and to answer the most important question of all. What will your queer legacy be? So we've explored the list. We've met the artists, the activists, the healers, the fighters. And now I want to ask you, what does it bring up in you? Because here's the thing about Pride List. They're not just about who made it. They're about who's watching and what that watching actually awakens in us. Maybe you feel inspired. Maybe you feel a sting of comparison. Maybe you thought, I'll never be on a list like this. Or maybe you whispered to yourself, one day I will be. Now, I hope to be as well at some point, but it's not the ultimate goal. And to all of that, I'm going to say this. You really do not need to be famous to be formative. You do not need a platform to be powerful. You do not need a blue check mark to be someone's blueprint. The real pride list? The real pride list, it's being written every time that you show up for yourself. Every time your queer friend, you ask them, are you okay? Every time you take up space when the world stares shrink. Every time you refuse to let someone else win or your shame win. Every time you heal something that your younger inner child self never got to name. That's legacy too. So I'm going to leave you with 3 reflections to take with you. 1, you would be on your personal pride list. Think about the good people in your life who shaped you, who helped you come out, who let you cry, who celebrated your joy. Hug them, text them, tell them, honor them. Number 2, what part of your identity are you ready to let shine louder this year? Now, you don't have to start a movement. Start being unapologetically you. That's already revolutionary. And number 3, what legacy do you want to leave in your community, in your relationships, in your own heart? And what's one small act of pride gets you there today? As we close this episode, I want to leave you with this. You are already on someone's pride list. You just don't know it yet. You're being watched, admired, loved, celebrated, quietly, deeply, reverently. Because you exist, because you're trying, because you're still here. So keep showing up, keep getting loud, keep loving bigger, because your name matters. Whether it's in headlines or it's held in someone's heart. Tell me, who's on your personal pride list? Write it in the comments below. Like someone who changed your queer life. And if you're ready to become the kind of leader who runs your own list, check out the resource section below. Download my free queer healing guide. Come check out my free webinar, The Queer Comeback. Or join us inside Queer Quest Pro, where we can help you be an inspiration to others, not just during Pride, but the whole damn year. Because that's where we build queer excellence from the inside out. Because we're not just here to be included, we're here to lead. Now, again, if you've got value out of today, which I trust that you did, please help by liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing this, reviewing us, following us, wherever you can do, because this is going to get this topic into the people's hands that really need it most. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, with pride, with purpose, and with possibility, this has been the Queer Quest Podcast. I'm Cristiano Green, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, always remember that you've got this, and I've got you. Bye for now. Hey, love, before you go, I need to tell you something important. You weren't meant to do this healing journey alone. You weren't meant to figure out your queer identity, your purpose, your healing, your worth in silence. So if you've been listening and thinking, I'm ready, I want to transform, I want to live fully, I just don't know how, this is your sign. This is your queer comeback. Welcome to Queer Quest Pro, a revolutionary 12-month journey of queer healing, growth, and transformation in every area of your life. From your mental and emotional health to your spiritual connection, purpose, finances, identity, relationships. This is your full circle evolution. We guide you month by month through the queer wellness wheel of life with workshops, live coaching, quests, rituals, and a global community of queer souls rising together. It's the place for woke queer humans who are ready to rise unapologetically. Because healing is hard, but healing in community, that's sacred. And baby, you deserve sacred. Are you ready to live a life that actually feels like yours? Click the link in the show notes to join us now. Doors are open. We're waiting for you inside. This is your comeback. Don't miss it.